All right, so moving on to the final trailer of our conversation, which is the Loki trailer. I don't know about you. We kind of talked a little bit about it. This trailer was everything I wanted out of the show Loki. Like, it's literally, I cannot emphasize how much I enjoyed watching this trailer and how excited I am for the direction of the show having watched it.
Especially having WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier preceding it. Like, I feel like those are good so far. I only watched 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think they know what they're doing with these. It actually, like, in making them like mini movies that are just like pretty long, I feel like it's actually gonna work out for them pretty well too, because it gives them like exposition and gets them, like, they literally just like, okay, people don't want Loki to die, so let's just find out an alternative timeline where he's still alive and then make a 6-hour TV series out of it. At least I think it's 6. It's just funny how they keep on finding ways to still do it if people want it. And eventually when they do that with like characters, or they already did it with characters like Wanda, that'll add into other movies with that background context. It's the same thing they've been doing for like 20 years, except this is just longer and a little bit smarter, instead of wasting, or not like wasting a movie, but just finding a different way of doing it. It just gives context to people who actually want more, and whenever the movie is coming forward, come out, it'll just mean more. People will care about it more.
Yeah.
Just build on the monopoly and just make it even better.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
I agree. Yeah, for me, what Marvel has done, and I've talked about this before with like Alyssa and my family even. If you take a step back from just being a superhero fan and enjoying Marvel, if you take a step back and you look at this, it is historic and incredible what Marvel's able to do with all this. Like the amount of stuff that is just being pumped out by Marvel year after year, show after show, movie after movie. I mean, we're like what, 21 movies deep, 3 shows deep already, and we can't get enough of it. We're just like, give me more of this. I want to see this. I want to see more of all of this.
And to be fair, we did have a year off for the first time in like 10 years, so that's a big part of it too. There was that big break with Endgame, and then Captain Marvel. Everyone went to go see that because they wanted to figure out what was going to go into Endgame. I mean, like, they played it well. They never put you in a place where you're like exhausted of watching.
And what was beautiful about it is Spider-Man Far From Home wrapped it up beautifully, where you got like that post. Okay, like, everybody has questions about how Endgame affected the universe and everything around it. Spider-Man Far From Home showed that. And then you got to just like, it gave you that closure. It gave you like that, like, okay, Iron Man is really gone. Like, he is really gone. And how is the world dealing with this? As well as how is the world dealing with the blip and all that, is what they call it. And so that show, or that movie, really wrapped it up nicely. And then having this year off actually played perfectly, because they were going to roll out Black Widow not long after it. But I think this time off has given them an unbelievable reset on the whole Marvel universe, because now you've finished everything, you're done watching all of that stuff, you've had time to let it sit and marinate, and now you come back and you go, you know what, I want more Marvel stuff. I'm ready, I'm excited, I want the next sequence of Marvel to happen. And then bam, they hit you with WandaVision. Bam, they hit you with Captain and Falcon, or not Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Then they hit you with Loki. Then they're going to hit you with the Black Widow. So you get a little bit of nostalgia from the previous with Black Widow, and hopefully a good movie. And then you roll right into the next sequence, where hopefully in this next whole massive thing that they're doing, they're bringing in the X-Men. Deadpool's becoming one. They're bringing Blade back. They're having the Punisher, the Punisher and Daredevil hopefully are coming back. I know Daredevil's rumored to reprise his role in the new Spider-Man movie. So all of that's super exciting. And it's one of those where, like you said, it's a palate cleanser for that year, where now I'm ready. And looking at this too, like, everybody loved Loki. And just like you said, they tried to figure out a new way to use him. And I think they did it perfectly. I think they building a show around him being kind of the hero, because that's what his character evolution was throughout the whole show, was him going from being this guy who just wanted to be powerful and rule, to then like helping basically restart after Ragnarok. And then so much so to the point where he was willing to die for Thor and try to kill Thanos. That like he had that character arc where now like seeing him in this setting as a hero is so much more believable than it would be if you looked at if this show came out initially after the first movie, because we've seen that character arc go and now this is just a continuation of it and I'm excited for it.
Well, don't forget too, the important part of this too is that this is the 2012 Loki. He hasn't had his character arc play out. Like, essentially the direction that he'd be going into because you've technically seen the future or whatever. But still, like, none of that stuff happened here. This is like from the end of Avengers and then going forward. Obviously the same person and everything, but that's also just kind of a fun part of it too. They could take that where they like.
Yeah, but I feel like they've already, like, because it's already been built there in place and it's already happened in our vision, in our viewing. I think that basically you can assume that that's how they're treating the character, as if like, yeah, he technically hasn't had this character arc, but like,
sure,
technically he has in your vision already of him. So I feel like that's going to play more into this.
And like another thing is, first of all, I think Owen Wilson's going to be perfect for that, just from the couple of lines they've given him, regardless. But the biggest difference with these is that there's like no distinguishable difference between this and like a feature length movie now, with the way that they're treating like these series and putting them out. I mean, like all the time that they're spending on like, well, first of all, like special effects. Now they've even gotten A-list actors because they used to not be able to do that in TV shows because they wouldn't be attracted to it. But I mean, it's like more of a reflection on everything else that's going on as a whole with different streaming services and everything. It's just that like, there's no difference to this because it's also giving you more context and more time to kind of digest an entire movie instead of just sitting down in 2 hours and then done. They get 1 hour and do like 8 episodes or whatever. And it just seems more rewarding. But I mean, the final piece of the puzzle was getting A-tier actors to keep on starring in series like this and not reserve them only for movies. And you got like these sideshow Bob type of characters no one really cares about, but they do their best. So now they've got this together. These are like 6-hour movies and that's kind of it. There's no big difference. They're the same. They're one and the same now. And TV isn't going to be like 30-minute sitcoms. It's not going to ever go back to that, I don't think. I think it's still going to exist, but this is what the expectation is going forward because this is your competition.
Well, and the other thing too is that Marvel has cracked the code and has for the last 12 years has cracked the code really into how to make an action movie series, whatever it may be, also have enough sprinkled in of comedy, emotion, sadness, love, all that beautifully sprinkled in to make a movie or a show in this case. And that's why, like, you see like that little sequence where he gets dropped into that thing and then says this is absurd, and then it prints out another document. Like, it's not in your face like, hey, laugh at this joke, but it's like putting it in a situation where it's like, oh, that's pretty funny. Like, it like gives you a laugh, but then like you realize that the series overall is very serious and like action packed. But like you see stuff like that right there, like him sitting in his crown, standing there in a suit, or him like winking. Like you get these fun moments, like, or this right here, like this sequence right here, like, like this doesn't feel forced. Like it doesn't feel like it's fake, or like him doing that right there. Like that makes me laugh. I don't even know, like I can't, like he didn't even have to talk. Like I don't even have to hear audio and see that, and I can just laugh because I just know that like that's what it is. But it's just they've just done a perfect job of making a movie that's action packed but has some of the emotions and things you want to see in other movies, and also adding in a comedy element that doesn't feel forced and is perfectly timed.
Yeah,